Okay, we said we was gonna have. Yes. Let me make sure mine is. Hello, yes.
I don't know the other word.
I know. Yep. Hey y'all, we getting started. I know you didn't want that one. I know. Wait, hold on. Can't see. Slide over.
I'm trying to post it so the people know where to go.
Yeah, let me tell
I'm looking at
let
me tell the people.
let me
too.
Instagram on my other phone. Happy Thursday. No. Yeah.
Yes, Thursday.
It is Thursday.
Happy
Thursday, y'all. We're just going to tell our followers that we are live.
Because they probably like, oh, you going live from their page. And it's like,
Yes. No.
No.
Please join Forever Girlfriends page. Please and thank you.
I'm not going to post it.
Yeah, so you can be it. That's why I said
thank you.
Okay.
Like,
all right. Oh, you know what? Somebody need to do so we can read the comments.
Oh, I just downloaded on my other phone, so I just gotta wait.
Oh, so I'll join the live. I'm gonna like turn it down.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Hey y'all. Okay, we're gonna try to do our best of looking up and looking down because y'all know we a little old, so we're not sure how to do all these things, but we're doing the best we can.
Who among all of you is the girl who does hairstyles?
Mm-hmm.
She's not on live, but now we will tag her so that you can see her.
Oh, you did just post it.
Yes. Tag her. Yeah, thank you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she stayed on it. We are grateful for you, Megan.
Yes. I think y'all think what y'all trying to get started. Okay.
That's not on my phone. On that phone.
Okay. Well, we'll go ahead and get started. My name is Jennifer White, founder, CEO of Forever Girlfriends. I am a mom. I'm a wife. I am your forever girlfriend. I am a process manager. I'm an event planner. I am whatever you need me to be. I will be all those things to the best of my ability. I actually am super excited to come to speak to you about this topic today. Mother's Day has been a challenge since my mom has transitioned, so like this is going to be therapy for me and therapy for my girlfriends. I'm just super excited to like dive in. I lost my mom May 5th, 2017, due to her third battle of breast cancer. It was completely a shock to me and my siblings. We found out the day she transitioned, so it was just a very tough day. But I'm going to pause because I'm not trying to be worked up, and I'm going to allow everybody else to introduce themselves.
You so bad. Yeah,
Hi, y'all. I'm Nayla Shea, doctoral candidate in clinical and forensic psychology. Currently an outpatient therapist. Really just working to curate something for us, by us. I don't even know where to start. You just start. I don't know. I was just getting emotional already because I got thrown off. I was like, okay. So I experienced the passing of my mom on April 7th, 2022. I'm with you. It's just like, I thought I was okay all day, and then I'm here now, and I'm like, So yes, I experienced the passing of my mom. Similar to what Jen just explained as well. She lost her second battle to breast cancer. So we thought it went away, and then it came back more aggressively. And I just kind of watched her like deteriorate in a sense, but in your mind, you're like, no, and then especially because of our faith in God, you're like, no, like God got the final say, you're gonna be okay. But I think somewhere in me, like I seen that she was declining, but I feel like I also like felt when she passed away in a sense. I was just with her and I just left, and then like I'm calling her and reaching out. I'm like, wait, something's wrong. And like my stomach dropped, and I was like, that's when it was. And I was grateful. I like followed my spirit, and it was just finding her, seeing her like that in the house. One of my sorors, one of my neos, is actually the one who went over to my mom's house to check on her, because this was when I was living in Alexandria at the time, and I was like, something's wrong. Like, you know, but I'm like, oh, can you just go check on my mom? And then she was like, Nate, call the cops. I don't know how I got from like, you know, like Nova area to Richmond in that amount of time, but yeah, I made it, and just, you know, all of those things. But so after my mom passed, I became a mom to my sister. My sister was in her junior year of high school at the time, so it's like I became a mom overnight. You know, I had to like move back, do all of the things, and then a week after I buried my mom, that's when I found out I was pregnant with my first child, and just, you know, attempting to learn how to navigate that, process that, feel that. It's just like an everyday battle.
Yes.
Everything that comes with that, I just wouldn't have, even though I feel like, and I was able to say that in hindsight, like, oh, I knew something was wrong, but in the moment it was like it just happened so suddenly because I was just with you, we just had another surgery, you were okay.
Right.
So yeah, just attempting to navigate that and process that, and really just learning how to just breathe and feel. I just didn't have time to stop or feel anything. I just like had to take care of my sister. Then I couldn't breathe because like, oh, you're pregnant, you gotta get up, you gotta drink water, you gotta like keep going. So yeah, I mean, it's a lot with that I don't want to take up like all the time.
We're gonna dive in it later too.
So hey y'all, I am LaDonna, also known as LaDonna the Realtor. I am a realtor, and I am now the founder of a nonprofit, a Pink Christmas Foundation, which actually is the core from losing my mom and my battle with breast cancer. I lost my mom in 1997. I was 10 years old, and I found out that was her second round of having cancer. She originally got breast cancer, when she was like in her 20s, and then after that, I think she was like 43 when it came back, and it just metastasized to other organs like her liver and her stomach. And so for me, kind of the same thing like you said, like when she was sick, I went to live with my dad because her and my dad were separated. And so when she went to the hospital, I went to my dad's house. But let me actually rewind. My 9th birthday, my mom gave me this huge surprise birthday party.
Aww.
Didn't know, why, whatever. But I was like, hey, surprise birthday party. But she was sick.
Yeah.
And then I would say maybe like a couple days after, because my birthday is September 5th. She died October 31st. So short time span. So within that time frame, I ended up walking in on the bathroom with her, and she had a complete bald head. And I went and ran to my room and cried, and I didn't know what to say. And she, was like, are you okay? Like, mom was just going through something. And I was like, yeah, but really I wasn't. And so we had like a family meeting, and that's when she told me, she was sick. I don't remember if she actually used the word cancer, but she told me she was sick or whatever. And I'm telling her, I was 9 at the time. I'm like, okay, cool, And so then moved with my dad, and one day he was like, hey, we gotta go to the hospital to see your mom. And I don't remember if I had ever asked about my mom or anything, but I went to the hospital, and she was in the bed, and she was so like drugged up. She didn't recognize anything, but she knew me. And so I went, hugged her and whatnot, and talked to her for a little bit, but it was gibberish honestly coming out. And so when it was time to go, my dad said, do you want to say goodbye? And I was like, no. And so for me, what I didn't realize until I started seeing a therapist was that I suck with like goodbyes. Like, if we're having a conversation or we're on the phone and I say goodbye, I need you to say goodbye. Because that next morning, I remember the phone ringing. It was like the wee hours of the morning. I jumped up, but nobody came to get me. So I was like, okay, it's not my mom. My dad sent me to school, everything. Came home. I would typically go across the street to the babysitter's house. But that day, my cousin lived across the street. That day, it was a house full of cars. So I'm like, we going to your mama house, we going home, not knowing what I was walking into. Walked in, and I remember like it was complete silence. So I was like, okay, didn't think of anything, but I realized later that they knew, but they didn't know I didn't know. My dad ended up coming over, took me outside, and was like, your mom died. And I just remember falling to my knees, and it was just like, what? So yeah. It was tough, even though I was 10, you know, when she died, it's still like, I don't have my mom, you know what I mean? Like, I gotta go through all of these life journeys, you know, without my mom. And so when people are like, you know, you're such a daddy's girl, and I'm like, that's all I got. You know, like, I laugh at my dad. So that's, you know, my story with losing my mom. Yeah.
Oh. Well, I intentionally asked to go last because, yeah, this really be heavy. Let me turn it to the camera. So, hey everyone, my name is Deetra Rozier, and I am a mom of 4, and I also own an event space where I cater to moms, and I work with moms on a day-to-day basis, giving them a space to celebrate their children through gender reveals, baby showers, and birthdays. And when it comes to grief, I am currently grieving 3 mother figures at the time. Despite you guys' situation and kind of, almost anticipating it happening, I lost my aunt and my mother tragically and unexpectedly. I lost my mom in 2012 to a drive-by shooting. And just one of those type of things, is just at the wrong place at the wrong time. With the shooting, out of everybody, even though it wasn't intended for her, she was the only one who lost her life to the shooting. So that was in 2012, and just last year in August of 2023, I lost an aunt who she didn't really step up after my mom passed, because she was always like so present. She was like the VP, that vice president. She was just always there and always active in our life. And so when I lost my mom in 2012, I was like, okay, I know we all probably feel like this. You lose your mom, you can handle anything after that. So, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a G. Like, y'all don't know what it is. Once you lose your mom, you can handle anything. So, I was kind of prepared, like, whoever I lose next, I'm ready. This part of life, this part of the cycle. Let's do this, like, let's go. But, nope. Thought it was going to be easier. And I think it wasn't as easy because my aunt also died tragically, like I said. She went outside about 5 o'clock in the morning. We're assuming that there was some type of fire or something in her garage. And what the fire department said was they think that whatever she did to try to put the fire out, it actually caused an explosion.
Oh, wow.
So, and fast forward to that, I say 3 times because a few years before my aunt passed, my grandmother was diagnosed with dementia. So she's still here physically, but with the bond that we had and her kind of raising me, once I started going to the doctor's appointments and it started getting aggressive, I lost her too. So I'm like slowly grieving my grandmother, knowing that, most likely she's going to be next. So, yeah, that is mine. And I think when I lost my mom, it was kind of one of those things where, live by the sword, die by the sword. So it was kind of like, okay, I understand. But I think it was like a double whammy with losing my aunt, because I tried to brace myself for it and thought I would be stronger, and I wasn't. And then the way that it happened, it was kind of like, doesn't make sense. Yeah. Still doesn't make sense. Right. And that is the hardest part of that, because she just had a lot of goals, and she had become like a best friend. Like, if I was to get married again, she would be one of my bridesmaids. And as you get older, you kind of on the same level as your auntie is.
Yeah,
right?
we friends.
Yeah, we friends, girlfriends. We talk about all the things, you know what I'm saying? So we had got to that space, and we were talking every single day. Like I said, like a best friend. And I still can't make sense of it, because she had a lot of goals, She was she was preparing to buy a new house. She had just put a new HVAC in the house that she was living in. So, just knowing that she wasn't done yet, that is one of the hardest parts, to deal with. Yeah.
And I feel you with that too. Like, you know, she wasn't done yet. Cause I always say like, I was only 10.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, God, I love you. God, I trust you. But I was only 10. Like, you know, what am I supposed to be learning from losing my mom at 10 years old? You know what I mean?
Right. So did that like really question y'all faith? Did y'all get to a
Absolutely.
spot? Woo,
Like,
that part.
for me, I lost my mom during Lent, and I vividly remember that because I was fasting at the time. I was on social media. I was really actually dealing with like a rough battle of depression, and a lot of people don't know that. So like before my mom even left, I was like going through it, and it was something she kept saying, like, you know, my destiny has yet to be fulfilled. Like, it has yet to be fulfilled. Similar to what you were explaining about your aunt. It's like my mom and I, it was so much we had planned. We had rented office spaces to start businesses together. Like, really just working on creating an organization to strengthen mother-daughter relationships. Like, we're just doing all of the things. And she kept saying that. And she passed away during Lent. And I vividly remember still, I remember reading the verse. I can't recall the exact verse, but it was like a Lent plan, of course, where Jesus is telling people like, oh, I have to leave in order for my word to be fulfilled. But it, you know, different translations was like my destiny, and like that shook me. And I'm like, wait, was this like what Jesus said? Like a part of your destiny is like leaving now, and I don't know. And it was just, I was so like angry. I didn't feel anything. I couldn't feel anything. But I remember when I seen my mom like, you know, dead in her room. I'm like, you know, I just kept saying like, why you do me like this? Like, why you do me like this? Because I was just already at the brink of like, ready to check myself in somewhere because I'm in a doctoral program. I'm working 18 hours. I'm doing practicum. I'm traveling up and down from DC to Richmond to take care of my mom. And I was just like I just kept saying like, why you do me like this? And I feel like it was, I don't know, just walking that journey out with God. It was just me and him at that point. There was nothing anybody could say or do, and I just had to be like, why'd you do this to me? Like, what did I do? You know, like, why did I deserve it? Like, you know, it was a whole bunch to really work through that, but it actually strengthened my relationship. That's why it's like, he had to get me to himself. Like, and I was just so grateful my mom poured that into me, and I'm like, man, I want to give that to my daughter, like just learning how to lean on God, because it's going to be a point in life when nobody help you, but it's just going to be a you and her.
In my anger, I was really, really angry after losing my aunt, and like I said, I lost her in August, so that was about the time when the kids were going back to school. And my siblings and I, we were in a group chat, and we were sending pictures and stuff. And I have a nephew who has recently lost his dad, and it kind of humbled me because, you know, I looked at him and I was like, "Dad, his dad's not there to send him to school." And then I said, "Look at me at my big age at 41. I got 41 years with mine."
Yes.
You know, so you know, you'll have those humbling experiences. And another thing, you know, in that sense, you kind of say, I'm not special, you know, like some people never get the amount of time. You get 10 years. You know? Like I said, my mom didn't pass until 2012, so I had a lot of time with her. So, you know, you try not to question God, and you try to find those tidbits to kind of make you feel better, but sometimes
I think the only thing that actually made me feel better and brought clarity to the situation, honestly, was when I got breast cancer. Because I was tested for the gene because my mom died from it. And I always say, had my mom not died from it, would I have been tested in the first place to be able to get the testing that caught my cancer at 27? You know what I mean? So I try to say, that's how I just have come to accept, like, you know what, this is why, and God, I'm going to just lean in on this and just run with it. And so my mom used to play softball, so I always say, I'm running the second base for her.
Aww, okay. Yeah, you gotta try to find your purpose. And like, to make it make sense, you just find that peace to be like, okay, this is going to be my guiding light. And like with the poem I shared today, when I got to that part, you know, I really got to the point where I was like, God doesn't make mistakes. And I just thought about, you know, like you said, it's a bigger purpose. You know, he had to leave for that destiny to be fulfilled. And I think you know, I just think about, like I said, trust in the Lord with all your heart, and you know, understand, because I'm an overthinker.
Yeah.
Like, make it make sense. And so from August until, I don't know when I decided to, like, all right, get out your grief, let's go back. I think it was February when I came up with the photo shoot. I'm like, you gotta get out of here and start to live again and live with purpose or whatever, and, you know, not let, honor them and try not to let their death be in vain. That's the space where I was in. Okay, like, I trust you, God. Like, I just remember all the things that you've done for me, and just focus on who you are, not what happened or why it happened, and just focus on who you are. And you're not done yet, and I'm not special, and it's gonna happen again. And I think too, like, one of the questions that were asked, that we were asking is, what advice do we have for people who are suffering with grief? And I think as moms, we have to set the examples for our children.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people I've seen before I lost my mom, they would use it as a crutch or a reason to not go on, or just an excuse, or like, you know, So I tried to, once I lost my mom, I started introducing death to my children. You know, letting them know that, like, I'm not going to be here forever, but if I do go, don't make this about me. Like, live your life. Like, just keep on keeping on. And so we have to set the example, because they're watching us. You know, my kids catch me on my bad days, and, you know, they say, you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm just grieving, you know, and I just go through the emotions, and I just let them know that it's okay to grieve. You're going to have your bad days, but you got to keep going.
Grief is definitely a bully, and it hits you at the weirdest times, at the weirdest moments. Like, it doesn't have to be on their transition. You can smell something, and it'll take you back to that moment with them. So it's just like, feel how you feel in that moment, but just don't stay there. Like, I had to get therapy in order to get out of that dark place, because I was so hurt. I was so resentful. I hated God in that moment. Like, why did you take my mom? I wasn't prepared for it at all. But next question: how has grief changed you during Mother's Day?
I feel like it has changed me. Well, it didn't change me until I had my own kids.
Okay.
Mother's Day was a day where I would sit in the dark. I would be in my room. Don't call me. Don't text me. I'm not gonna respond. Cause it was like, how do I celebrate you, my aunt, my cousin? How do I celebrate you? I can't celebrate my mom. Like, and I love you to death, but I don't want to celebrate you. And so I would just shut myself off. And it wasn't until I had my boys who were celebrating me that made me realize, like, you got, like you said, you have something else to live for. And so while I grieve my mom, it's kind of like I grieve in the joy. And I know it doesn't sound, I just grieve in the joy because I know my mom would enjoy them if she was here. And my mom would want me to enjoy them, you know, for myself. And so that's kind of like how it without kids, I was and then now with kids, I take my moment to myself in the mornings, and then I just let them do what they want to do throughout the day, and then at the nighttime, you know, I have my moment with her again, and then just go to sleep. Yeah, that's how it changed.
For me, Mother's Day hasn't changed a lot, because I grew up, so the three women that I'm actually grieving, those are the three women that I grew up in the house with. We were one of those houses where everybody's living together. And so, one of the things they instilled in us, and while I'm in this industry, is celebration. So we celebrated birthdays, holidays, like we went all out. And so my family and I kind of like the Kardashians, like our husbands and the men in our life knows that when it's Mother's Day, that we're all going to be together. Like, you're not going to pull me aside, and me and my kids are going to celebrate us together. And my sister, she opens up her home, and we just get together, and we just celebrate. And so we really, I mean, like you say, in the morning, we have those down times. But by the time we get together, we underlyingly know that we're grieving, but we just celebrate, and we just make the best of the holidays, and just kind of just keep on trucking. And I think that joy that they instilled in us to celebrate every day has just kind of carried us. And even on their memorials, like when their birthdays come, it's always a celebration. We still celebrate them like this. We get together every year for my mom's birthday and losing my aunt last year. Her birthday is right after Christmas. We still got together and celebrated her, and it's not sad. You know, when you're alone it's sad, but I think togetherness brings you together. And another thing is Mother's Day. Social media, none of that. You cannot log on to social media on Mother's Day. Like, that is so hard to see everybody celebrating their moms, and even on a regular day, you'll see somebody do something with their mom. And you're like, oh, I want that so bad.
Yeah, me too. It irritates me when my friends be like, oh, my mom is calling me again, and they don't want to answer the phone.
That's literally what I was thinking when you said social media. It was like my mind started going different places, but that's literally what I thought of. Like, there were so many people I'm like still working to like deeply forgive them with a lot of things, because there was a lot of things that was said, just like a complete lack of awareness of like everything is my mom. Like, even as I'm trying to get things together for my mom's services, like reeling, never, just don't know what to do, but it's just me trying to figure it out. Everyone's still like, oh, well, my mom this, and I'm like, wow, like, like, oh, my mom is annoying, she's this, and I'm like, I want her to be annoying. My mom could be annoying too, like right now.
And that's important too. Like, a lot of people have trauma or just like bad relationships with their moms, so that like they can resent them, and you kind of almost have an understanding because of trauma. Everybody needs to heal, and so it's a mom that needs to heal, and she's projecting on her child, and so it's hard to kind of be like, girl, you better trash your mom, this and that. So it's kind of like you have to almost make peace, because one of the things that I'm proud about with losing my aunt and my mom is that those last words.
What were the last words?
So I had just got married in December, and my mom I got her hair cut, like she was getting for the wedding, so she had just had a fresh cut. And so by April, when she passed, her hair was growing back, and it was growing back pretty, and so I was able to just like push her hair back and say, oh, your hair is growing back so pretty. And I was like, okay, and that was it. So I'm so happy, because my mom, she struggled with drug addiction, and once I was old enough to understand that nobody chooses that, and especially kids that grew up in the 80s, that was brought over to us, and the adults who dabbled in it had no idea that it was going to change their life forever.
Right.
And just like with your mom, it was letting us know, don't ever go near that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we couldn't, like, no, say no to drugs. So, I was able to understand that and realize that she was really struggling. I was like, she doesn't want that for herself. So as a child, I was sending her, but I thank God for getting me to that place of wisdom and understanding and accepting her for her struggle and knowing that she wanted more. Because even through her struggle, she was just an amazing. She was really, really like, you see Tiara, and that's like, we are our mother's child. She was just a firecracker. Like, if you knew Shayla, like, it's just like, she was just the best thing. Even through her addiction, like, she never failed as a mom. She did her best, and I'm so glad that I was able to have those last words with my Aunt Nene. Like I said, it was in August, so we were at Tyson's Corner shopping for the kids, and she called me. She was like, what you doing? And I was like, nothing, out here school shopping. And she was like, oh, okay. I was like, what's going on with you? She was like, nothing, I ain't want anything, just call me later. I was like, okay, love you. And she was like, love you too. And I love that. Like, I tell everybody, I love them. Like, I was like, love you. Like, in my household, it's always, I love you. And I love that, like, your last word is always, I love you. Yes. Your last word from me is always going to be, I love you. So it's like, for anybody who's listening, I just turn my back to the camera. But, like, if y'all going through anything with your parents, like, you have to get to a space, because that guilt of those last words is going to haunt you forever.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's why
you can't take it back.
You can't goodbye. Like, I never told my mom goodbye, and at the age of 10, I'm gonna see her. She gonna come home, and she never came home. So it's like, goodbye. Like, listen, don't tell me goodbye, and I tell you goodbye. Like, I will literally have it. The only time like I can let that go, my aunt, she doesn't like goodbye, so it's always see you later.
See you later. Yeah.
So
See you
so we
later.
do the see you later. But if I say, you know, goodbye, like I need to hear it. And then to piggyback off of celebrating, so my mom died on Halloween, and Halloween, and so I always dreaded Halloween as well. My oldest, Brandon, as y'all know, he's adopted, so he loved, like, since the day he was able to understand he just loved Halloween, and I've always hated that he loved Halloween, and I had to come around to accepting that my child loves Halloween. And so one year, one of my coworkers, she was like, why don't you just turn it into a celebration for your mom?
Yes.
Why don't y'all just dress up in costumes and go to your mom's grave to take pictures? And that was the best idea ever. So every year, we missed last year, but every year since I've had Brandon and he's understood what Halloween is, we dress up in costumes and go to her grave to take pictures. So therefore I can explain to them, you know, this is my mom, this is your grandmother, you know, she died, and they taking it bits and pieces. And it's kind of like a catch-22, because sometimes when I get sick, like, and if I'm like sick in the bed and I just don't feel like, you know, Brandon will be like, Mommy, I love you, please don't die. Please don't die. And I laugh because it's like, you know, he's comprehending what death is. And I told him, you know, my mom was sick and she died from being sick. So if I'm really sick, he's like, Mommy, I love you. Please don't die. What you do for me? And so I can laugh about it because he doesn't understand, but at least he's trying to, you know, be there. So yeah, I just had to say that about the celebration part.
What were your last stories? I know you said you had kind of shared yours, but you on the way back and you had to turn that around.
Well, my last like words, because y'all were saying the last like words with my mom. I left her. I was just with her, and I needed to go back to my house in Nova because I needed to complete like my comps for like my doctoral program. It's like, oh, you gotta pass this in order to go on to fourth year. So it was like really, really major, and I only went back because I needed like my DSM to be able to go through and figure out like whatever they was gonna throw at me. And I was like, oh, I'm coming right back. Like, I was like, you know, I'll be right back. I just got to go home and complete it. But, you know, I had called out of work, both my jobs to, like, take her to the hospital. We was there going through a bunch of stuff. But after the surgery, she was okay. It was like, all right, we moving, we're okay. And my last conversation with her was me telling her, like, oh, Ma, I passed my comps. Like, you know, I did, you know, I did it. And she was like, you know, so what's next? And I'm like, you know, now I just have to finish my dissertation and go on internship, and I'll be done. Like, I'll be a doctor. And then, like, I remember her sounding like so weary and like so tired, but I'm like, she just had surgery, of course she's tired. But she was just like, you know, like, I'm very proud of you, you can do this. And you know, we, like, in our family, with my mom and my siblings, she'll be like, I love you, or whoever will be like, I love you, and we'll be like, I love you more, and they'll be like, I love you infinity. And like, so the last words was like, you know, I love you infinity, and I was like, you know, get some rest. And I just remembered that, like, I didn't even think of it until just now of like, get some rest. And I think if as I was thinking, I was so angry. I'm like, she fought, because I had to. When she passed away, we had to pay for an autopsy again because she was doing better. She could breathe better, but they were saying things like her lungs are filling with fluid, like all of these things. And she was like, yeah, that's an indication of like heart failure. But we like, God got it, you know, like it's fine. But when, you know, I'm thinking of that and it happened so sudden, it's like, no, somebody did something wrong. We got to figure out what's going on. And this is why I'm like so thankful for my big sisters, my chapter, because I'm like, my line sisters put something together to just like give donations for me. They're like, you know, we gotta help May because she had insurance, but they're like, no, the autopsy is coming out of pocket. I think it was like $4,000 or $5,000. But I'm like, you know, I have to figure out what's going on, and like people rally around me. That's why I feel you when you're like, it's in community, it's around people. When I'm by myself, I'm no good, but when other people are around me, I'm like,
them thoughts get surgery.
I'm like, okay, we're doing this. But anyway, the doctor was like, you know, like, she didn't do chemo, right? And I'm like, no, my mom was very big on that because we both knew, like, the chemo's gonna kill you faster. She's like, no, I'm fine, and she just beat it, you know. So it's like, no, I'm fine. And the doctor was like, man, it's like, was she a strong woman? I'm like, of course she was. She was like, I could tell the cancer was riddled throughout her body. She's like, it's in her ovaries, her liver, her walls, and like, just, I kind of just went blank when she was telling me how spread the cancer was. But I'm just like, you know how we get there. So when
when I heard that part of like, you know, just rest well, I'm like, she kept fighting and fighting and fighting, and you wouldn't have known that nobody knew what was going on. I didn't post anything. She didn't want to tell anybody. If you look at our videos, some videos I posted of my mom was us leaving radiation, or you know, us coming from surgery, just full of life. And I'm like, she held on. I'm like, God, you let me have her until this moment. Like, if you would have took her before my comps, I wouldn't have finished. Like, I wouldn't be about to be a doctor.
He always give us like a hit.
Like, and then it was really that moment where it was like I was so grateful. I just was like, thank you. If she would have checked out before then, I'm like, I know what she instilled in me, so I know I probably could have did it. But in my mind, I'm like, no, because I was already on the brink of the edge, and that's why he sent my daughter. Like, you have to keep going. You're right here. I didn't want to do anything. I'm like, I don't feel like it. I don't want to do it. And he's like, no, well, you have no choice now. Now you have somebody to live for. So if there is no, you're not doing it. Like, you have to. And just even finding out about my daughter was crazy. I don't know if another question is gonna come up. How I even knew I was having a daughter is insane. Y'all not even gonna believe me.
Let's do it first.
Like that's how I'm like, let's go back.
Yeah. So like I said, nobody in my family but my father knew that my mother had got the diagnosis, like, either stage 4. I think they gave her like 6 months to live in the fall. We didn't know that. We know she's sick. She's in the hospital. So on Wednesday, she had to have a surgery to get the fluid removed off her lungs. So she was like, invite everybody in the family to come to the hospital. We have a huge family. She has 12 brothers and sisters. Huge family. So I was like, Mom, you're just being extra. I can't believe, like, you really want everybody in the family to come to that hospital. But okay, whatever. I'm going to do it. So we got everybody at the hospital on Wednesday. I was supposed to be the one that picked her up from the hospital on Friday. She was supposed to be coming home. But my father called me. He was like, your mom is really upset. I need you to go to the hospital now. So I'm like, okay, Mike, let's go to the hospital. I'm not thinking any of these things. Like, okay, she's just being extra. She's in her feelings. So we get to the hospital, and thankfully, like, the nurse, you know, all the HIPAA rules, you're not supposed to say anything, but, like, you just could feel, like, this was totally different. Like, she was acting different. She was breathing so heavily. So, like, Mike actually went out to the nurse and asked her, like, what's going on, and she told us, like, she was terminal. So, like, my last words with her was when we came back in the room, I was still working. I worked from home. I was still working. So she was like, are you going to leave? And I'm like, no, I'm staying here. We're good. Like, I got you. We're going to make sure everything is okay. Literally right after that, the doctors came, and I guess they had looked at her charts, and they was like, we got to take her up to ICU. So, like, literally in 5 minutes from us going from upstairs to downstairs to upstairs, like, she was no longer talking. The last moments was her asking, like, where are you leaving? And me saying, like, no, I'm leaving right here. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
It doesn't make it easier.
It does not.
It just is kind of.
Yeah.
So yeah, so what's going on with your daughter?
Yeah.
So
Y'all such moms.
what's going on?
So I was yeah, I gotta tell my baby when she get older, child. So yeah, I know, like, you know, I was just like, I surely did. Of course, like, I always like plan, like, okay, I know I'm gonna have a child, but like not right, you know, anytime soon. I wanted to be finished with school, but you know, me being grown, clearly, it's like, you know, this is how we get here. And I took a plan B.
Get out of here.
That plan B did not work, child.
Look at the Lord.
It did not work. And I'm like, and I was like, I took a plan B, and I looked down, like, you know, a week later or something like that. I looked down at my chest. I said, no, you pregnant. Because you know, like, your breasts get tender around your cycle.
Yes.
I'm like, but they started getting big. I'm petite. So I'm like, why are these things looking? I said, I'm feeling out. Like, you know, and I said, oh my gosh. And so I'm panicking. And I'm like, man, damn, here we go. Like, and so I got the, like, notification that I'm pregnant, and there was no question of, like, oh, what you gonna do? I'm like, it was like, okay, I'm about to be somebody's mom, but I just couldn't wrap my head around that. And I was going through all the motions that first trimester. I would never do this again. I'm miserable. Like, it was tearing me up, and I was just so angry. I was so angry my entire, like, I didn't start easing up on things until this part. So I had a dream, and like in my mind I was like, okay, I'm trying to prepare to get pregnant. So in real life I'm like, oh, I'm gonna give birth at home. I want to, like, my mom passed away in her house, I want to give birth at her house. I want to do something new. I want to do something, like, you know, just to really honor that, like, with death comes life. And I'm just like thinking of all the things. So all the stuff I'm planning, it's like however I wanted to give birth happened at home, but it was like it happened so quickly. But it was like in the dream, it was like in the house where I used to live in New York. And like I pushed my daughter out, and I vividly seen her.
Wow.
This was before my gender reveal or anything. And I pushed her out, and I seen her, and I'm holding her in my hands, and I'm like, Mom, I'm scared, like I'm shaking. And she's like, okay, give her to me, go, like, get yourself together because you got to go to the hospital. And so she's, like, holding my daughter, and, like, my daughter's cooling, and she's, like, all happy, and she's good. And she passed her back to me, and she was like, you'll be fine.
Oh.
And I'm like, I'm scared. I'm like, Mom, I'm scared. What do I do? And she's like, you'll be fine. You got this.
Yes.
And then I woke up, and I woke up crying. And it was at that moment I vividly remember, like, in July, I think it was like July 7th or somewhere around there, like before my gender reveal in August. That's when my whole attitude towards my pregnancy and everything changed. I was like, okay, I got this. And that's why when for my gender reveal, when, you know, everything turned pink, I was like, I knew it. Like, I seen it. I seen my daughter vividly, and my mom told me, like, you'll be okay. Like, and I'm in the dream, like, scared. I felt younger, like, and I felt like that little girl, like, no, I need you. And she was like held her. So, and sometimes, like, in the room, it's like a bunch of pictures of her and everything, and sometimes my daughter just stares at them, and like she's like cooing and everything, and I'm like, how do I be a mom without my mom? But I just keep thinking about that dream, and I was like, that's how I know God is so real. It's like you were sent to me. Like, when I tried to be like, no, I'm not going to be pregnant, he said, yeah, you tried it.
Yeah,
you
tried it,
right?
you tried it.
And I'm angry. Not like it's like about being pregnant, but it wasn't like, oh, I don't want to have a child. I always knew I was going to be a mom, but I was just like, why now? Like, I'm grieving, I'm hurt. I don't want to do this, and really it's like I'm scared. That's the underlying emotion. Like, it's not about all these things. I'm scared what's going to happen. And once I seen her say, you're going to be good, I'm like, all right, I could do this. Like, and I started to smile about it, but I was like, I seen my daughter before she ever even got here, but I was like, dang, I got to tell her, like, not that I ain't want you. I was just like going through stuff, but I really wanted you, but it's like, just, that's how I know God is real. So it's things like that, when you asked about our faith, it's like, that couldn't have been nobody but
nothing but God.
And spirit is real too, because at the beginning of the year, like I lost my mom, like I said, in 2012, but at the beginning of last year, her spirit was so strong. Like, everything was giving mother energy. I just started to see her more. Like, it was just a lot of stuff going on. And I'm like, and you gotta be in that space where you can hear it and take those signs. You gotta be in that silence. So I was like, okay, God. And coincidentally, like, within that time, I had a meeting with my grandmother's doctor about her dementia, and we literally had to sign a power of attorney, and she had to do the non-resuscitation. So I was like, okay, my mom's spirit's coming around because I'm about to lose my grandmother. So here come August, I get the phone call. When I got that phone call, I pressed the ear button. I told my husband, I was like, it was like 6 o'clock in the morning. I said, something's going on. And I just I hit the ear button, and I rolled back over. They reached my son.
They said, no, we don't get you.
They called my son. My son came in our room. And denial is real.
It is.
It's very real.
I was in so much denial when my mom passed. They called us, and it was my sister. She was so frantic. I mean, she was screaming to the top of her lungs. And I'm like, oh my God. So me and my husband, we jumped in the car. We went over to where she lived or whatever, and everything was blocked off. And so I just remember saying, okay, well, let's wait to see what the police says or whatever. And then I remember my friends and them coming on. I'm like, why are y'all here? Like, I was angry and so then I'm like, what y'all doing? Like, why y'all making this a big thing? Like, let's just, see what's going on or whatever. And then reality started to sink in, and I called my mom's phone, and she didn't answer. And then I was like, is that anybody else? Like, is it just one person? I was like, yeah. I was like, my brain did not want to process it. And I'm like, okay, if my mom's not answering her phone, where is she?
Right.
And I'm like, it's real.
Mhm.
This is really happening.
Yeah.
Like, I snapped on my friends. It's like, why are y'all here? Like, y'all, they made it so real. Seeing them
Yeah.
show up for me, I should have been grateful, but I'm like, no,
no,
y'all.
I
here.
don't wanna
You don't wanna
see
believe
anybody.
That
it.
is so
Believe it.
funny. No,
Yeah,
because
I don't
to
want
this day,
anybody.
I be apologizing to my cousin. This girl came over there, like, just concerned, like, Nay was going on. I snapped. I said, who told you to come over here? Like, why are you here? Like, I feel, and then I started seeing it. Like, I said, cousin, I'm so sorry. Like, that was rude. That was, like, but I was so apologetic, but she was just so open. Like, it's fine. But just that, of, like, I'm just trying to get to you and be to you. I'm like, man, that's why I'm so grateful for people that hear you when you're not speaking, that, like, see you, and it's like, no, that's not you. Like, it's what you're experiencing. But I felt, I was like, that was so rude. I should have did that. Oh, someone texted me. Sorry, they said that is a clicking sound that's causing them not to hear clearly. But I was like, I don't.
Can y'all hear us now?
Y'all can respond to us in the chat. Let me know so we can get this going.
Because we done had a whole, I forgot we was on live for a second.
No,
The girlfriend.
Let's do. There's at least one question before we do go. Like, how can
Radiant said she
support-
can hear us.
Okay.
I hope, because they said
Okay.
it was a clicking sound. I don't know.
Okay.
We're gonna do better looking up at this phone too.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, y'all.
Having a
I'm just
whole
trying.
conversation.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
We
yeah.
breathing.
Yeah,
No,
real
for
talk.
real.
Like,
Yeah.
Someone said it's
what-
still clicking, but they hear us. It sounds like a fan or something.
You have
Ticking.
one?
TikTok.
Right.
There's no clicking over
Yeah, it's nothing.
when do you think you hear us?
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
what's the last
Thanks,
question?
y'all.
that you had?
How can we support? How can family and friends support us during grieving on Mother's Day?
I think the same, just celebrating life, not focusing on the loss of a life, but celebrating the memories and the great things about them, and that's helpful to me.
I can say just listening.
Yeah.
Don't be extra. Just don't, like, catch my vibe. You know, if I feel like I want to celebrate, you know, then I'll celebrate. If I don't want to celebrate, don't just catch my vibe. And most of the people that know me, they know I'm very level. If I'm up, then it's like, okay, she good. If she not, then, you know, so just listen, you know, be aware of what you're doing, what you're saying. Be aware of, you know, what you're doing, what you're saying, and just don't do too much.
Right.
I agree.
Yeah, don't do too much. Don't make it awkward.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think like family and friends could support you by like not allowing you to kind of give in to what it is that you're feeling. And I say that because like how you mentioned don't do too much and you're like, no, I really want to celebrate.
Mm-hmm.
For those people that are like kind of like us, like, no, I would prefer not to do something. Like I would prefer to be by myself and like in a way respect that, but at the same time it's like, no, you saying that because I know you want to grieve. I know you
Yes.
want to like not do anything. And it was like, this was, I mean, it's only been 2 years, but this is what helped me because this year, like for my mom's birthday and also for her memorial, my friends was like, nah, we doing something, you know, like we going out.
Yes.
And I was like talking to people, like you said, I was responding because typically I'm not responding to nobody. Like I get to y'all do whatever, but it's stuff like that. Just
It's not on.
but it was just stuff like that where they like, yep. And I looked at myself. I said, I'm so proud of myself because if I was in New York at the time, and I was like, if I was in Virginia, I would have been no good. I really would have shut down. So it's just stuff like that of, yes, respect what I'm saying, but again, also hear what I'm not saying. And sometimes it's like, I'm not saying that I want to be around people because I kind of feel both. I want to be around, but I don't. I just want to feel and breathe, but them not listening to me. It's like, oh yeah, I mean, we hear you. We're going to give you a second. Like, you know, or if you want to be by yourself, go in the room. Like, or you want to be by yourself, go take a shower. Like, but other than that, we're going to be here. And it's like, you know, just showing up, I think matters. Like,
Well, honestly, I think what you guys said was perfect. Like, just for me, I know when I'm in that space, I don't like company. So, like, if you have a friend like that, if you want to be intrusive, just be intrusive, but let them be in their space.
Yeah.
Like, don't say nothing. You can be over, just don't talk to me though.
Yeah.
But just let me be in my space.
Yeah.
That's honestly how I do it.
And I can't let the call. I don't know how many of you guys utilize counseling and grief counseling, which is therapy.
Oh yes.
Because I mean, I can't let
I
this call
definitely-
in without saying that. Like, if you're going through grief, don't try to handle it on your own
Yeah.
because professional help is sometimes needed. I
Yes.
mean, it's an emotional wound that needs to be treated, just like if it was a physical wound, you're going straight to the ER as soon as it happens. And when it comes to grief or just day to day emotional things that we go through, we try to take care of it on our own without the expertise of a professional. But if we had a physical wound, we would go to the doctor to get that treated.
Every single
So
time.
we have to treat our insides as well as we treat our outsides when it comes to our emotion, because that's what drives us. You
Yes.
know, so if you are experiencing grief and you have not sought out counseling,
Professional help.
Professional.
Not your friend.
not your
Not your family.
yeah. So,
Professional.
And
Yes.
sometimes the first counselor will not work. So like date them, like try a few, like
Right.
just don't stay there.
And I'm glad y'all said that, because everybody be thinking just because I'm a therapist that I just be saying go to therapy because it sounds good. And it's like, no, I go to therapy. Like, I prioritize that. But I'm glad somebody else said it, because like,
Yes.
man, you do this. So you going to always, if I'm like, yes, because we all need it. Even when things aren't going well,
Right.
like, take your space so that you don't get to the point where you're overwhelmed and flooded with emotions. Don't wait until things get too bad. Like,
Yes.
fighting back is fighting for yourself. You
Yeah.
have
Yes.
to do that first.
Yeah,
And
that's a
why
whole
I'm
nother
so glad
podcast.
you
We
said
need to do
that.
it. So yeah, next week we're gonna be talking about the importance of therapy. Like, I'm such a big advocate for that, and it's so I was like I said, the beginning of the year I was feeling all the things like God was kind of preparing me. Like, you know, I think I had took a space from. I was kind of like trying to take care of myself and put me first or whatever, but God put me back in that mother field. It was just like so much mother energy. He was preparing me for my aunt's passing, and like I was in the beginning of the summer, I was feeling all these emotions, and someone was like, "Well, when the last time you been in therapy?" I was like, "It's been a while." She's like, "Won't you go back?" I was like, "You're right." And the way God works, I was on the waiting list from like June. And why, as soon as my aunt passed in August, the waiting list came over.
Wow.
It be
And
right on time.
right on time. When I say I needed that so bad. So, yes, y'all, I know in our culture and our community, like, therapy is taboo, or you think something has to be wrong. Something is wrong with all of us.
It really is. We are everybody is crazy.
Yes.
Right. Everybody is crazy.
Yeah.
Everybody needs therapy. Right?
Everybody needs therapy.
Literally.
So,
I wanted to ask a question, or ask if you all could speak to this too, because I know that we're speaking, of course, about the loss of our moms, like physical departure, but like you mentioned, with similar to your grandmother, she's still physically present, but you're grieving the loss of her, and of course for a medical reason. But one thing that like I focus on in therapy is just how do you strengthen those bonds while they're here, because clearly the person is still living, but like you mentioned earlier, the relationship is not there. So it's like, do y'all have any insight or advice about how people can begin to take those steps to mend what's happening now? Because that's why Mother's Day is hard too. Some people are like, well, I don't got a good relationship with my mom, so like I don't really care. But it's like, no, you care. But it's that grief.
I was gonna say, I think for me, the first thing will be accepting them as they are.
Yeah, I like that.
Like, my therapist told me this. You have so many expectations of people. You want them to be this. You want them to be like this. And they're not. And so you're stressing yourself. You're hurting yourself more. You're mad at them because they're not who you want them to be. Whereas you should just accept them as they are. When you learn to accept them as they are, where they are, you know how to place them. So your expectations change, and you can be more loving and make that relationship work. Because I might want you to be that mom that calls me every day, all day, or, keep in touch. But that's not you. So I'm mad at you because you're not doing what I want you to do, instead of me realizing, you know what? You don't show love that way. So let me figure out how you show love, and I will learn to realize you love me in the way that you know how to show love. So I think starting with accepting them for who they are and how they are.
Yeah.
I like
But
that.
and sometimes like so I have a lot of friends who have like toxic relationships with their moms, and a lot of, like I said, us 80s babies, depending on where you grew up, a lot of our moms struggle with addiction. So a lot of us had a resentment, and that's another hard thing too.
Yeah.
You get to that space of, you know, and your mom's not even here to say, hey, this affected me in this way, you know, so you kind of got to deal with that on your own, or with the therapist if you're smart. But but I think to answer the part of like with my grandmother, it's a struggle for me because I have a lot of great memories of my grandmother, and what I don't want is the anger and the dimension to overshadow how I remember her as a whole person, you know. So it was really hard for me to find that balance and say, okay, this is not her talking, this is dementia, because dementia makes you angry, you know. And we also have to understand that we're just okay, yes, all us therapy, but the generations before us didn't have that. So they're suffering. They're suffering and they're lashing out at us, you know, because of what they're feeling, and they're not going to go to therapy at their old age. You know, they're like, oh no. And so it's a balance, because you don't want to force people to have relationships with their moms in respect for you. Like you said, I wish my mom could call me, because some people don't need their moms calling them. They don't have those type of relationships. So it's just finding that balance between doing what's healthy for you, so that you can live your life, because they live their life, you know. But we also have to take it into account as moms too, and be empathetic, because it trickles down, you know. So the conversations that we may have with our moms to say, hey, this affected me in this way, we have to brace ourselves, because we don't know what we're doing to our children, you know, to where they go pull us to the side in a couple of years and say, mom, this affected me in this way, you know. So you got to be open to that, or allow your children to have that space now to, you know, address those things.
Well, you about to wrap it up. I think we should finish it on a positive note with the question of share one positive memory or happy memory that you have of you and your mom.
We're gonna end, because like I said, my mom was lit. Let me think of my favorite. My mom was just so fun. Oh my god, I did so many. Why didn't you put that on the sheet last night? So I could
It is.
For you,
I have it under mine.
It's on there.
All right, let me think.
Okay,
you go first. I gotta think of mine.
So like for me, like I was planning my wedding, all of this stuff while my mom was transitioning. We actually got married on the day we buried my mom. Like I was so upset. Like, why does my mom funeral day have to be on my wedding day? I was upset, but like we come from a small town, so like unfortunately it was a few sick people during that time. So like someone had already booked that day, so I had to take the 12. So that was crazy for me. But when I got engaged, when I say my mom was so happy, I'm gonna show y'all this video once we finish the live. She just was so tickled. So like when I'm having a moment, I go back and I look at that video, and it's just like so comforting. Just how she hugged me, how she told me she loved me. Oh, it just is like one of my favorites.
I don't know, I'm similar to you. Like, my mom was just vibey.
No, your mom was off the chain. Your mom was off the chain.
She was a vibe. Like, everything, like, when I look into the mirror, it's like I can see, like, you're her daughter, because she was just a vibe. But I think when I was reading that, I couldn't really think of just one specific memory. But I'm, like, probably the one where, like, and I posted it, like, she was dancing because she's, like, oh yeah, like my daughter's about to be a doctor. Just her. Just her. Like, you know, the one where she was like, and my mom was a minister, so it was like she wasn't even trying to be you or no, like you know, she fake trying to act like her life, you know, like I'm like, girl, come on, I really know the real you. But it was like she was like dancing, she started like, you know, fake twerking, but she was like, oh my bad, I had flashbacks. But it's like for me, I think any memory would just be like her like unwavering support. Like anything I wanted to do, she did it, and it was like her kind of love is why I crave, like, and why I don't want to settle for less than that. Because anything, when I started working out, I would come home, she has like workout journals. time, any Valentine's Day was like, for me, those days, because her birthday is the 13th, Valentine's Day is the 14th. So she's truly the epitome of like a love baby. Like our Valentine's Day, she always like poured into us, and I mean really, really thoughtful gifts of things that I love, things that I mentioned that I never asked you for anything, but anything that she knows I love, and it's like just paying attention to me and showing me like, you know, love yourself, pour into yourself, and it's those gems that I think I carry with me. But like you said, it's just too many memories. I'm like, I can't pinpoint one.
I have a lot of mine too, but my favorites are, we used to do like car concerts. So we love Tony Braxton, we love TLC, but the number one, we love Lisa Stanfield, Been Around the World. And so we used to always sing that song. And so when you talked about like Signs, that song is so old, but that song still randomly comes on the radio. And so whenever it comes on the radio, I'm just like, all right, Mom, let's go. I turn the music up, and I'm singing. So that's just like my sign for me, like from her, like I'm still here. You know, I'm right here with you. So that's my favorite.
All right, I got time to process. So I think for me, the way my mom showed up as a grandmother.
I love that. I love that.
Cause the way she showed up as a grandmother, like she was just, those kids adored her. They truly adored her. And I think that's the best thing that she could have gave me. Is just the way she showed up for those kids, because we were grown, you know, and she was getting better, and she was just there for them. She just went so hard. Like Nana was just. And then they think of a song because she took so much pride in being a grandmother. Her song was "Oh Nana." That's cute. So when she came on in my wedding, saga was 1+1, and just preparing for the wedding, she was like with me the whole time. She was taking care of my youngest baby, and so. We were together all the time, and just knowing that was going to be the wedding song, I kind of had it on replay, and we would just sing that, and it's those memories that I cherish, because, and like I said, it humbles you to say shut up and stop being a big baby about it, because it's people who don't get those moments, because all my major milestones, my mom was there for me. And so one of the last things that I did in my life was when I bought my home about 10 years ago, my first home. At the closing, I just bust out crying because I couldn't share it with her, you know. So, but then I got moments that my siblings, you know, want my youngest sister. She just had a baby, and you know, she didn't get to meet her, you know. So it humbles you. It really humbles you.
I cried for my mom. When the doctor said, put your head in there, you can feel his head. I felt his head. I stopped pushing, and I was like, I want my mom. And my aunt was like, you gotta push. And my boy was like, you gotta push. And I'm like, okay.
I gotta show you the picture. I had a frame of my mom when I was giving birth. And like, just that whole experience was like, that was my first time feeling anything when it came to her passing. But it was like, I looked at that picture, and I'm like, all right, it's just us.
I got this.
We gotta do it. That's why when you said that, I'm like, I felt that.
Yeah, like I was like, head, you can feel his head. And I was like, oh.
I was crying, and I was probably like, oh, it's the contractions. I said, no, baby, I'm breathing.
And my mom was like really strong, like she was really tolerant. So sometimes when I be acting like a little punk, I need her in my head, be like, you my daughter. Don't be like, yeah, don't forget who daughter you are. I'm like, I'm Shell's daughter. Who you think you talking to? So you need that. This was so good, y'all.
This was really good.
I didn't cry as much as I thought I was.
No, I cried enough. No, seriously, this was really good. Thank you guys so much for just being on this live, helping us as we talk through navigating like Mother's Day grief. I'm super excited to be able to share this space with each of you guys.
This was needed.
She loved it.
For real. I love y'all. Thank y'all so much. And
Bye, y'all.
Sunday, Mother's Day brunch, Cabana. We'll be there from 1 to 5.
We get active on my soul.
On her soul. Not mine. I didn't say that. I love y'all. Take care. Bye.
This was